Hi everybody, my name is Rene and welcome back to this series of Tango lessons. I'm not going to get tired of saying this every single week, but I really feel honored to have all of you supporting not only the activities that I'm doing with the lessons, but also with our guest musicians that we have been having all these weeks. It was such a pleasure to have you last Sunday. To all of you that attended the alternative music, what am I talking about? All of you that attended the virtual Milonga was so very exciting to have you, and we had a wonderful time together with Mariana and Anibal. It makes me want to invite them again soon so we can have another great evening. But all these activities, all this tango that we're doing right now is thanks to you, your support, and your being here. So thank you so very much for that. And I'm going to ask you to be patient a little bit more. Things are getting a little bit better, especially in our area, but we cannot dance yet. And I want you to be aware of that. I know that most of you would like to go and dance right away, but we can't do that. We're going to have to wait a little bit longer. So for that same reason, try to log on to this myriad of activities that everybody's having in their Facebook page, in their websites, in their YouTube page, in order to learn a little bit more, go into the theory, into the exciting part of the music, into the sometimes it's reviewing things that you thought you knew, but it's always exciting to review, or you learn a little bit of something different. Talking about that, I'm going to start doing a podcast soon about, because it's so very interesting that during the virtual milongas, we sometimes end up talking about certain tangos. So I'm going to start translating some tangos for you in a way that it's going to be not only just a plain translation, it's going to be my comments about that and telling you a little bit of the behind of those lyrics as historical part, or who was the author, etc., etc. So it's going to be exciting. Don't stop getting in touch with Tango Brillante DC. We are scratching our heads in order to give you more content, more tango products for you to stay at home and stay with a lot of tango. Today the lesson is going to be once again, we're not going to do something extremely different. We're trying to put together all these little things that we have been learning in the past. I'm going to start with the leader's role as usual, but I want you to pay attention because interestingly, I want you to look at my posture from head to toe, because we're going to be doing a double lápiz, okay? And this double lápiz is going to make us practice both molinetes on the right side and on the left side. So for that, the first thing that we have to do is to remember how to do the molinete on either side. The molinete on my right side starts from the crossing. So I'm going to try to go to the crossing. How do I do that? Remembering the first 8 basic steps, which are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm just going to get to the 5th. From here, I'm going to create a space, and all I have to do is move my partner around me, okay? If I remember clearly, imagine that we are in the number 5th. I create the space, and all I have to do is either lift my heels and go to the 5 steps, and then make her do a U-turn, and then come back another set of 5 steps, place my feet together, and then finish in 6, 7, 8. However, we're going to try to do a lápiz. to, if you're not very familiar with the lápiz, go back a few lessons behind and you will find the lápiz clearly explained. But right now, I would like you to pay attention to what I'm going to do. The lápiz is basically a shape that you're drawing with your toe on the floor like this. Once again, I make a curve and then I make a circle. I catch on that curve and I keep going down with that same curve. See what I'm going to do that. Okay? Bum, bum, bum. Ram, bum, bum. But we're not going to stop that there. Now we're going to do 2 of those. So I'm going to make you understand this, I want you to, that is my front. That is the direction of the dance. So I'm going to come back to that same spot. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. For this movement, while it's happening, see, 1, 2, I lift my heel, I place it back, and then 1, 2, 3. In the number 2, and I'm going to explain a little bit later why I'm counting 1, 2, 3. In the number 2, my heels are going up, so I am able to pivot. If I don't lift my heels, it's going to be very hard for me to make my body move to where I want to go. So don't forget, number 2, lift the heels. And why I am using the set of 1, 2, 3, it's basically what we're doing is quick, quick, slow, being 1 quick, 2 quick, 3 slow. Quick, quick, slow, 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to call it. And that is actually a syncopation. So that syncopation, we're going to do it in a bit. It's going to come out when I'm leading the back ocho. The back ocho means that I have to start doing my double lápiz. So once again, I want you to try to do this without placing, imagine that you're hugging a tree in front of you, and then you're going to move all your body. Notice that my standing leg, the knee of my standing leg, is soft. It's not bent. I don't want to go too low. I'm dancing socially. I'm not performing. If I would performing, if I would be performing, probably I'm going to use more of my legs. But in this case, all I need is a little bit of grace, a little bit of elegance in my movement. Okay? So I'm going to keep going into that direction, and I want you to notice how I'm going 2, 3, 4, 5. The first thing I have to do is make sure that she's taking the forward step and I am opening. We're going to wait. This exercise doesn't happen all of a sudden. So she starts walking, and look, I'm going to switch my weight behind when she does the forward ocho. Then I'm going to switch my weight when she's going towards the side step. So when she finishes to do the side step, I am free to go with my right leg. So the moment that she starts going into the back ocho, that's when I'm going to create 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to do the female's roll. She's doing 1, 2, 3, side step, and then she does again 1, 2, 3, right? So I'm going to do the first part. She walks, side step, 1, 2, 3. I wait here a little bit until, and look at my feet. My standing foot lifts the heel a little bit, and moves a little bit more towards her because she's doing a side step. And in her back step, I do the lápiz again, and then I stop her. I'm going to explain this a little bit later, how many steps she needs to do, but this is like the rough part, okay? So let's say number 5 of the basic. I start doing the molinete. She does 1, 2, I go 1, 2, 3, move, 1, 2, 3, stop, lead her forward, and I'm going to finish 6, 7, and 8. Notice that I am respecting the direction in which I am going. So make sure that you think of that direction, okay? Now, you're going to feel a lot more connected to this step if I show you what are the legs of the lady doing. So I'm going to start by doing a basic step, 2, 3, 4, 5. I uncross her legs, and then I'm creating space for her to walk. She's going to be walking 1, 2. I forgot to mention, this is the right leg of the lady, and this is her left. When the right leg is taking the back ocho, see, it's like I am unfolding the red carpet for her. Now we're going to count the steps, but it's very important for you to understand that when you're doing this movement, the energy of the molinete is when the lady is walking around you, and what is helping her go those steps that are allowing you to do the lápiz, you are creating as a leader, you create that energy. For now, I'm going to say it's kind of like pulling her body, but afterwards you're going to realize that it's not really pulling, it's by creating space for her to walk. Okay? So let's review the steps that we're doing. 2, 3, 4, 5. From the 5th, I'm going to allow the right leg of the lady to come forward, and see, I'm going to start counting from there. 1, 2, and here is where I start doing the first one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. She walks forward, and then I finish 6, 7, and 8. So if I'm to count those steps, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now we have discovered that there are 9 steps that the lady is doing. So provided, let's make the sticks rest a little bit. Provided that we understand those 9 steps, I'm here in the 5th position, right? So 1, see, look how my arm is kind of like moving together with my core, because my core is leading. So I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Forward ocho, I collect my feet, and then I finish 6, 7, and 8 of the basic. I know that it feels a little bit confusing, but all I want you to do is to try to practice for now your part. This is going to be explained a little bit better in the footwork part, but at the end of the first one, I have to pivot a little bit more and finish the last one. Okay? What does that mean? That I need to make sure that my heel is not glued on the ground. If you count the steps, she goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8. If you create the right energy up here in your upper body, moving your leg is going to be very simple. If you don't create the energy, then you're going to end up doing not 1 or 2 lapices on the floor. You're going to end up doing many because you're losing your balance and you're going to be doing this all the time. Okay? The important part here is when the lady is going into the back ocho, that is when you have to match your, I'm going to do it extremely slow. 2, 3, 4, 5. I disengage this cross. I place my foot here. And then, see, I'm not doing anything. Basically, I'm leading here. 1, 2. Here's where my first molinete starts. I'm sorry, my first lápiz. I'm going to switch my weight towards my left foot, and with the right, I'm ready to go. 1, 2, 3. See, in the number, that would be 4. In the number 4, my foot is right in front of me and her feet are apart. So she's going to the back ocho. Look how my legs are getting entangled. And from here, I try it once again. Bam, bam, bam. I stop her. I make her walk forward. I collect my feet, switch my weight, and finish with the left 6, 7, and 8. Because I'm just using the sticks, I don't have an upper body here. I cannot move the sticks with me. I need to move them like, and make them walk with my hands. That's the reason why I'm not finishing exactly in front of my direction. But ideally, imagine that we are in the crossing, number 5th. So I'm going to do it very small so you can 1, 2. In the 3rd, I start doing my lápiz. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, and 8. I know that this exercise requires a little bit of coordination. This exercise requires a lot of musicality, which we're not going to do today because it's very extensive. We're going to try to work on the musicality next week. But for now, I really want you to make sure that during those 9 steps, you focus as a leader. 1, 2, 3 is important because 3 is when I start elongating my right leg, and during her next 3 steps, I'm going to do the first lápiz. So see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then she does number 6 is a side step, and then you're right after the number 6. The number 6 is helping you to pivot. Number 7, you're doing the last part. And then you move her 6, 7, and 8. Okay? The important part about this lead, if you have a partner at home especially, and how I would like you to, even if you're doing close embrace or if you're doing an open embrace, I want you to connect your arm behind the follower. So when you're doing this, see how like I'm right in front of her. I want you to pay attention to how my body is moving. My hip is going all the way here. My feet are trying to make a T on the ground, and then I start moving my torso, but as a whole. This exercise requires a little bit of concentration. All the steps require a little bit of concentration, but what I wanted to say is that, you know, you have to know what your feet are doing first, and then you have to understand how the lead works. But then you will understand how important it is to coordinate your lead with what you're doing with your feet. So at first, in this case, I want you to like make sure that you understand when your footwork needs to work, and then make sure that your core is, your torso is in charge of the lead. Okay? Now let's go to the part of the ladies, the followers. So for the ladies, you probably are already thinking, oh no, I'm going to be doing the same molinete over and over again. See, it's very important for you to understand how to do a molinete, and the more you practice the molinete, the better it's going to get. But not only that, we're going to try to do a few embellishments. I know that some of you are very reluctant to do the certain embellishments because you have been to Buenos Aires, and you know in Buenos Aires they are, oh my God, you cannot lift your leg and blah blah blah. Or your teacher is a purist, and your teacher told you never to do any embellishments. I need you, all of you, to understand how to be in just one leg. The best tango dancer is the one that can manage to be in just one leg without a lot of help. Okay, so if you manage to do that, you are going to actually be very aware of where your core is. So that's the reason why I want you to try to do these exercises. They're beautiful, and I enjoy when I'm dancing with a follower that is doing all these things. I don't expect you to do this in every milonga or every time that you're going dance. If you like it, you can do it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. But I really need you to know how to do this. Okay? So this is very simple. The only thing that you're doing is basically you're going to crossing, the basic step, and you're making a molinete with 9 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then, oh, I'm sorry, 9, and then you make another forward ocho and finish 6, 7, and 8. We're going to try to do a molinete that is a little bit different. I'm going to do an embellishment every time that I am going backwards in the molinete. So I'm going to pull my pants a little bit up. I'm the follower and I am in the crossing, right? So the leader is going to uncross my feet, and here I go. 1, 2. This is a side step. Look how I'm going to go to the back step. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more step. 6, 7, and 8. I almost killed the curtain. So that to begin with. So in every back step, I'm going to do it again, just the molinete. If you count, we have 9 steps that we have to think about, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more step forward and then finish 6, 7, 8. Now, in every back ocho, I want you to kick as if you would be doing, see, this is your side step. Here, I'm starting with my foot in the spot under my elbow, and I'm going to transfer it towards the other elbow. When I'm leaving the ground here, my leg is completely elongated. And then when I am going to the back ocho, my leg is completely elongated as well. So when that happens, I'm in the cross. 1, 2, this is the first one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more step. 6, 7, and 8. For all of you that are checking out every detail of these steps, my direction didn't end up correctly, right? That is because I don't have a guide. And I'm trying to go in front of the camera, but I'm changing the axis of my molinete. That's the reason why I'm ending up. It's very difficult to do it without a partner. However, I really want you not to worry too much about that. That's the responsibility of the leader. Worry about to feel your leg doing that. When I'm kicking, see, I'm going to do the side step. My position is just like this, right? So side step. See, here I'm using my core first. I'm moving my core towards that direction, and then my hip goes there. Kick, pivot, and I land in that leg. And in the next step, everything is going to happen the same. Okay, so you're going to end up doing 1, 2. In the third, you kick. 4, 5, 6. In the 7, you kick. 8, 9. One more, and finish 6, 7, 8. Now, because I'm asking the leaders to know exactly when they have to make their lápices, we're only counting 9. You're actually, if you have counted the steps that I've been doing, we are doing 10 steps. That's because I want you to only remember 9, because we're going to prepare something else after that extra step after the 9. So look what I'm going to do. I'm in the crossing. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The leader is going to invite you to do to go to another forward step. I'm going to change my direction a little bit here so you can see my leg. In the last step after the 9th, I want you to do a kick like this before you go to the 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to explain very careful that movement. The first thing is that I want you to always have in mind every movement that you're doing, every embellishment must have the count of 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Same here. 1, 2, 3. If you don't have that counting, the leader is not leading these exercises. The leader is not even aware that you are going to be doing these exercises. For the leader, it's a very nice surprise. It's a surprise like, somebody's giving you a rose surprise. It's not a spooky surprise. It's not like a whoa surprise. So if you don't follow that sequence of the music, or if you do it in a way that you're going to be losing your balance, it's spooky for the leader. The leader is going to, what's going on here? However, at least that happens to me. When a lady surprises me and her leg flies, it's like I was planning to do something, but all of a sudden she enhanced everything and she transformed that movement into something a little bit more beautiful. So once again, the idea is not just to do the exercise 1, 2, 3. Make it look like the best thing that you can possibly do with your own body. So for that, we have a little bit of a technique that I want you to share with you. We have seen this already in the past. This has to do a little bit with not showing the space in between our legs. So when you're done and you're going to do, see, this is the 9th step. I'm going to do it like the 9th step is here. I want you to look, I'm doing it exactly in front of the camera. So you step the last step and then look, I'm kicking towards my right, the opposite side. And I'm doing it so that my leg is elongating to the front first. It's trying to show a very long horizontal line. 1, then I'm going to lift everything. Heel, center, 2, and then I'm going to keep being upwards, but only my leg is going to go down. 3. My heel is off the ground. And then I take the next step. So at first, it's going to be a little bit hard. See? 1, 2. I want you to exercise holding it on the second movement in the number 2. And then slowly go down, just the leg. My hip is up still. My obliques are holding that hip up. My heel is up. My calves are holding that up together with my glutes and my quadriceps. And then when the leader invites me to go, then I release that tension that was keeping me up. It looks like whenever I'm kicking that I am worried only about lifting my leg upwards. As I said minutes ago, in the number 1, you have to show your leg as if it's reaching the house next door. See? 1. right after the 1, because it's embedded already in my system, I lift my heel. That's automatic. But in the number 1, everything is going horizontal. So it would be wrong if I do this. 1. I don't need to do that. I don't need to spend that much energy in lifting my foot. I want you to lift your whole leg, but just that. Then after you lift your leg, you're going to be lifting your knee and your heel, and then go down. So if you try to do this at first, slowly, making sure that you're like really going here, 1, 2, 3, and the walk. If I don't lift my heel, look how it looks. 1, 2, 3. My axis breaks a little bit behind because I need to lift my knee. If I want to do that without lifting the heel, I probably need a lot of very strong abdominal muscles to bring my leg right next to my stomach. But not all of us have that privilege. So I want you to make sure that you lift your leg and you're creating the illusion that all your body looks like a line. First here, then up here. And you hold it there, and slowly you come back from there. So you have to remember, when you're doing the first part, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In your head, this is just for you followers. Leaders, don't pay attention to what I'm saying now. In the number 10, ladies, you have to do 1, 2, 3 before you go to the resolution of the step. I want you to emphasize when you're doing the molinete, your body should look like the centrifugal force is sucking your legs away from the leader. If you don't create that illusion, see, I'm going to try to do this. Whenever I did that molinete, probably on the other side that we were doing, but nevertheless a molinete, but I am creating a very, very nice and large molinete. I cannot do molinete like this. Try to elongate your legs. I'm using still the same space, but I am not going mini steps. I want you to elongate your legs. Now, what is happening when you're doing the embellishments? So, a lot of people tell me, oh, but Renee, the leader is there. I'm so scared. See, the leader is here. My hips need to move. I'm going into a forward or to look at my torso is with the leader. This is the leader, so I'm parallel with the leader. My hips are already going to a forward step. Then this is the last forward step. My torso is still with the leader, but my hips are not. So whenever you're practicing that, make sure that you never disconnect from the leader. This exercise can happen on one side or it can happen on the other side. Since the steps are going to be changing on the other side, I'm going to keep just explaining the molinete in your case, ladies and followers, is going to be only on the right side of the leader. Next week, together with the music, we're going to try to do it on the other side. Nothing changes too much for you because you're going to be doing the kick with the other leg. Okay? But for this week, I want you to remember this. If you want to practice, because for you it's a little bit easier to do this with the music, see how I'm going to practice? Downbeat, meaning strong beat. Pam, pam. I'm in the 5th position. Pam, 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 pam. I want you to notice how important it is to do the pam, pam, pam. If you don't do that syncopation, if you do just with the upbeat following the downbeats, pam, 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 the leader is not going to wait for you doing downbeats. You're stealing this from the leader. You're stealing it from the music. You're playing smarty pants. So as a good smarty pant, I want you to move agile. So now I'm going to play down and upbeat. I'm in the 5th position. Pam, 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 pam. It's a lot. I know it's probably a lot of information, but the thing is that I want you to make sure that you practice, that this is something that you, whenever anybody asks you how to do a kick, how to do a backward embellishment, how to do a molinete, you know exactly how to describe it, at least intellectually. We're going to have some problems when you try to do this in practice. But the idea is that first, I need all that information in your head. So if you have any doubt, watch this lesson again and again and again until you can draw a molinete, how it's done, how many steps there are, what you have to do in those steps, okay? A great portion of how these steps are going to look depends on the follower. And you know, it depends on how you're making your molinete. And the molinete, if you have any doubt, go back a little bit, we explained the molinete, but I want you to remind you, you have to have contact with the spot on the floor right under your elbow. Because that is telling me that you're making a full disassociation. If you don't have a lot of flexibility in this area, try to start with very simple rotations. Try not to move your shoulders, but try to rotate just your hips. If you have the flexibility, but you want to make your muscles a little bit stronger, you can lift. Say, I'm going to try to go away, and I'm lifting my leg. That is a good exercise to make sure that you're finding the muscles that are required in these movements. Okay? Well, that's for the ladies. It's not that complicated. All you need to do is practice and practice. Now let's take care of the footwork. Okay, so as I usually do, in order to make sure that you're understanding how to move your feet, I'm going to take off my shoes. This doesn't mean that you have to take off your shoes when you're practicing this exercise. It is just because there are so many hidden ways that if I move my foot with my shoe, it's hiding what my toes and the muscles in the back of my feet are doing. That's the reason why I'm going to take my shoes off. This exercise requires a lot of movement in your ankles. So probably in the third lesson we practice a little bit how to make sure that we are understanding the movement of our toes, that we are combining those movements with our ankle. We did a lot of exercises about this. So if you have any question, just send me a message, or if you cannot find the lesson, I'm going to try to find it for you, and I'm going to send you a link to that lesson. In the first part, in the first exercise, gentlemen, I would like you to just see in the front. My front right now is the camera. So I'm going to try. You don't have to be perfect. All I have to train in you is your ability to move your body. So when you're doing this part, your foot is, your whole leg is, it starts the movement. You're not using your core in the first place. You will use your core, but right after the movement of your leg. The movement of the leg is dragging the rest of my body. That's the reason why this exercise is a little bit different than other exercises. Now, in this exercise, I'm preparing you for the next week lesson. So we're going to start with the strong leg, which in most cases is the right leg, if you write with your right leg. And some other times, the left leg is the strong one, but we're going to do that in a little bit. So first, I want you to see, we're not going to start, I'm going to do this, I'm going to show you the profile of my foot. I really want you to make sure that you're actually using all the muscles to make sure that you show, I know that I have a very deep arch on my foot, but try to do this, because if you manage to stretch all that you can, your lápiz is going to look a lot better. So the first part is to do that. Then, see, I'm making sure that that leg arrives behind me, and then I am finishing the movement. So if I do that without stopping, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The floor is a little bit slippery when I'm doing it with my socks only. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. At the end, don't forget, I don't want you to finish in front of you. You're going to finish towards the leg of the lady, and look how my foot is not in front of me, it's on the side, and my hip is partially open, it's not closed. If my knee is showing towards the camera, that means that my leg, that my hip is closed. If I open a little bit, that means that my hip is a little bit open. We need to open, because that's the space that the lady is going to be using to keep going. Okay? So the first part that I want you to practice, just as a mere exercise, is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. When you master your strong side, in this case, I write with my right leg, so my stronger side is the right. Then I'm going to switch, and I'm going to do the same exercise, but with my left. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. See, I'm doing 2 sets of 3, and then I am opening my hip as to invite the lady to come forward over that leg. If you practice this exercise, you're going to be able to, once again, it's not about developing big muscles and trying to do everything by force, but you're going to find which muscle is doing what. And then you're going to be aware of what the movement, what your body requires from the movement. For example, when I'm going to start, I need to know that my calves are just like very tight. My ankle is like making sure that it's like completely drawing the arc of my foot. And then I move my leg first. And then I have to lift my heel, make sure that I pivot 180 degrees, and from behind, I'm bringing that leg forward again. 1, 2, 3. If I think on the floor, I lose my balance. If I just do it from up here, it's a lot better, okay? The same thing with the other leg. Create your momentum. That means that I know that we didn't practice with the music, but when you're doing this exercise, try to go as I ask the ladies to do. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That means quick, quick, slow. In every movement in every musical movement of the tango, there is a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to try to go with that. 1, 2, 3. I wait. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I rest and I change. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I rest. I change. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? It's imperative for you to make sure that when you're doing this exercise, every part of from your waist down, everything is in control. Believe it or not, your balance depends exclusively of you using correctly a variety of muscles in your legs. So this is very important for you leaders. At the very end, let's say I'm doing 1, 2, 3. After the first part, I have to lead a side step and I'm not doing anything. In that side step, I'm going to pivot. So when I pivot, both feet are pivoting. It's not that I pivot like this. See? My axis is on my left foot and I'm going to pivot on that axis. So the right foot is going to turn, and from here I'm going to create once again that lápiz. This is a beautiful part in the lápiz because Nobody notices that much, but you're going to look so very elegant that people are going to like not know exactly what you have done, but you're going to look so very good. So for now, in order for you to understand what you have to do, I'm using a lot of space. 1, 2, 3. Now the lady does 1, I pivot, 1, 2, 3. I block, 6, 7, 8. Okay? For now, that's your exercise. When you're doing it on the other side, the same thing. See? I'm doing it with the left. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? It doesn't have to be, I know that when I'm doing it without shoes, it feels like, wow, it's very easy. With shoes, you're not going to feel the connection of your toes against the ground. You're not going to be able to like use completely your arch like this because your shoes are not going to be able to bend that much. But I want you to have the feeling, mostly in this case, in the area of your toes. Okay? So don't forget. You can actually do that several times to train yourself to do that pivot in a very nice way. Okay? Once again, if you have any doubts, any questions, don't hesitate to contact me and clear your inquiries. Ladies, in your case, let's not forget when you're doing the molinete, let's say you're in the cross and you're about to go to the forward step, your steps are drawing polygons around the leader. This might look okay to do, but see, you're sacrificing a lot of pivot. If you go completely straight, imagine this. That is a very nice and elongated pivot. If I walk already here, there is almost no pivot. Your molinete is going to look a lot better. It's going to be tasty when you create a lot of pivot. If we don't create a lot of pivot, look how strange this movement looks. There's nothing there. It's like I'm stuck on the floor. It feels like I'm dancing over mud. It has to look like you're dancing in the air. And if you add the exercise, when you're doing the kick, don't forget, look how I need to make sure that you know the wrong the way to do it and the right way. This is wrong. See how I'm showing the space in between my legs, and my kick was directed away from my body. I need to do it everything kind of like towards my body. So the person in front of you never sees the space in between your legs. Your last pivot, it's here. Okay, that's the reason why I ask you to, if you put your arms in front of you, completely parallel to your shoulders, and you lift your leg. That's the best way to describe where your leg needs to, what is the direction of your leg when you're kicking. When you lift your knee is trying to go also towards that same side. If you don't lift your knee in that direction, although you're like kicking here, if you do this, when you lower your leg, you're going to be showing the space in between your legs. So it's very important to lift the knee over there. And now I'm not only lifting my knee, but I'm lifting my heel of my standing leg and my hip. When I lift everything all together, I'm creating this a feeling that my body has stretched, has become taller or longer in a vertical way. I want you to imagine that you're looking like a Gothic cathedral. Whoom. Okay? Never forget this, that it's not important how high your foot is going. It is important how high your knee and your hip are going. That is going to make you look very elegant. We were practicing with our left leg, and when you practice this at home for next week, I want you to practice also the right. Okay? So, let's say I'm going to practice up. I don't care if you place yourself in the cross or you do it from here, but you're going to start with a forward ocho. See, I'm going to be kicking 3, 7, kick. Now I'm going to go to the other side. 1, 2, kick, 4, 5, 6, kick, 7, 8, 9, and I am ready to go to the other side. So basically you're starting molinete on the right side of the leader. You kick, you're switching the direction, and now you're changing the direction to the left side of the leader. And you're doing, whoa, you're doing everything with the other leg. And you change again, okay? The idea is that you're developing your own agility with these exercises. Well, that would be the lesson for today. Once again, thank you so very much for allowing me to go to your houses, for allowing me to entertain you, to educate you, to bring tango to you every week. Without your support, without you being there, nothing of this would be possible. So thank you so very much for taking care of me as I am taking care of you, as I am making every effort to take care of you. Don't worry, we are going to have now our virtual milonga, where we are going to talk about different topics, but we're going to keep doing tango and seeing each other at least behind the screen. For now, that's the only thing that we can do, but we're looking forward to the time when we're going to be able to see and embrace us again soon. Thank you so very much, and I will see you in a bit.